Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is Dark Macek with Brutally Delicious, coming into the review of Avantasia's brand new album, Here Be Dragons. Okay, so people who have been listening for a while know that I'm really into power and symphonic metal, and of course Avantasia is near the top of both of those. I would call myself a loose fan. I like a couple of their albums. I'm not a diehard who knows every single deep cut. For those who have not listened, Avantasia is something of a super project. Think like super group, but it kind of transcends that, created by Ed Guy's Tobias Sammet. It might be easy to compare it to Arion in that there is always a wide array of guest vocalists. We have some returning favorites like Mikhail Kiske and Roy Khan. This album also features what I think is the debut of Tommy Karavik of Camelot and Adrian Cohen of Seven Spires, and boy are they exciting additions. So, as I said earlier, I am loosely a fan of Avantasia before this, but wow did this album impress me. There were actually so many standout tracks on this album that I had to cut a couple from the review because it would take forever. More than half of the tracks were standouts. That's the sign of a fantastic album. I was previously debating whether my favorite Avantasia album is Ghostlights or The Scarecrow. Now I gotta throw this one in for contention. Yes, it's that good. The only real complaint I have is I thought the album title was kinda lame. One of my coworkers makes fun of me because he says all of my shirts have dragons on them. Dragons are cool as shit. I think they could have done better than Here Be Dragons, but it doesn't matter because better a fantastic album with a bad name than Inverse, right? Alright, let's talk about some tracks. Creepshow. This was a single and deserved it. It's kind of an odd track for Avantasia in that it's more like Kiss and Dynamite or something. It's totally anthemic and has a great chorus, but not in the typical power metal, let's slay the dragon kind of chorus. It's more like 80s arena rock. It's a really cool experimentation, and I appreciate they put this out there, but it's pretty unlike Avantasia. Oh well, I guess the whole point of bringing in a lot of guests, right? The Moorlands at Twilight. Here's a killer upbeat power metal track, double bass drumming, exactly the kind of track I wanted to hear on this album at some point, and exactly what I wanted for a Mikhail Kiske guest appearance. That is, the guy from Halloween, of course. I reminded a bit of the song Ghostlights, which also has Kiske on it, but this one's a little more progressive, not in a Dream Theater way, but, more slowing down, more like occasional interludes. Definitely not a paint by numbers track, though, but it hits all the main points of what you'd want in Avantasia. Bring on the Night. Here's a killer upbeat ballad in the way that you would expect Avantasia to do ballads. On Ghostlights, there is a song called A Restless Heart in Obsidian Skies, which I think is one of their most underrated tracks ever. It took me right back to that one. Or maybe like a happier Lost in Space. Unleash the Kraken. Another kick-ass heavy metal, power metal burner. Great chorus and really great anthemic drumming. I don't mean technical in a Mike Portnoy way, but think of like I Love It Loud by Kiss or like Tommy Lee's stuff. It hits hard and it's booming. This might be Sammet's best vocal performance ever. He's hitting some real high notes there and straining, but in the best way. It sounds impassioned. Against the Wind. Here's another really great power metal burner. The main melody was pretty reminiscent of Flag in the Ground by Sonata Arctica for a bar or two, but it's totally worth it. I mean, after all, it's power metal. It all gets kind of reductive after a bit. Great chorus. And I gotta say, I'm surprised they had never previously released a song with the title Against the Wind. I know Rhapsody had an album last year called Challenge the Wind, but Against the Wind seems like something somebody would have written, and that somebody would have done it as a collaboration with Avantasia. Last but not least, we have album closer Everybody's Here Until the End. This has a Trans-Siberian Orchestra-like quality. It's wholesome and also like punctuating to the album. It feels grandiose and almost like it could be part of a Broadway score if that Broadway show were about a metal band. I also, in a weird way, reminded of Everybody Has a Dream by Billy Joel. It's not a piano ballad, but it has that sense of finality to it. Okay, so I'm thinking of that Freedom Call album, Master of Light, where everyone made fun of the artwork but thought that the songs were killer. In this case, it's not the artwork, it's the title. But wow, this album kills so hard. I was actually kind of worried going into it that with an album like that, the band was out of ideas or just kind of lazy and not very charged. I remember thinking something similar when Queensryche released Dedicated to Chaos in 2011. Unfortunately, that omen came out to be true. But looks can be deceiving, and they were here too. Album of the Year contender for sure. To Tobias and all the others who worked on this, you've outdone yourselves. I did not think you would have had this in you like 20 years into your career. Killer job. Thanks so much. Rock on.